What's up, y'all? This is Dr. Jewel, and I am so excited to partner with Yes Lord Radio in my new radio show, Ask Dr. Jewel. I'm a doctor of nursing, a professor, a clinician, and your go-to for all things pertaining to mental health, mental wellness, and mental illness. Look, y'all, just call me America's MHS, Mental Health Specialist. So look, you all, it's time. It's time to get your minds right with Ask Dr. Jewel. What's up, y'all? This is Dr. Jewel, and I hope that you are doing well. I have in the house Lady V.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
And I also have J Bold in the house.
Guess who's back? Hey, y'all.
Hey, we love having you back.
Yeah, we love having you, man. You got to power up in this joke. But Thomas, no shade on you, man. No shade.
We love you too, Thomas.
We love you too.
We love you
We love
too.
you too.
We love you too.
So look, you all, we got a big topic to talk about today, man. This topic is a trip because a lot of people end up in the ER because of it. And this thing takes people on a whirlwind. All right. So, you know what we're going to talk about today, y'all?
What we talking about?
Man, we're going to talk about, okay, let me give you a clue. Fred Sanford.
Yeah.
Remember, yeah, you kind of young, Lady B, but you know, you may remember reruns of Fred Sanford.
Uh-huh.
And you know how he used to grab his chest?
Coming, Elizabeth.
Yeah,
It's
there
the
you
big
go.
one.
The big one.
It's the big one, all right?
Oh,
Every
I'm
time
coming.
he got stressed out, man, he grabbed his chest. It seemed like he having a heart attack,
Yeah.
chest pain, you know, the whole 9 yards. Y'all, today we going to talk about panic attacks.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my
Whoa.
goodness. We're
It's
going
the
to
big
talk
one.
about the big one on this Ask Dr. Jewel. So hold on. If you think you may have had a panic attack or you know someone that may have had a panic attack, you need to listen, have your ears open to this show. All right? So we get ready to come back. We're going to talk about the panic attack. All right?
Buckle up,
big
beloved.
Buckle up,
Yeah.
baby. What's up, y'all? We are back on ADJ, and we're going to talk about panic attacks, all right?
Dun,
So I
dun,
need you to
dun.
breathe. I need you to breathe. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. All right, we're going to talk about this thing, okay? 'Cause panic attacks are everything, baby. You will feel like you straight up dying on a panic attack, okay? And so, you know, we got to talk about this because panic attacks are real, you all. A lot of people, about 2-3% of people in this country suffer from panic attacks. You may have had one and just didn't identify what it was. You could have gone to the ER. You could have thought it was gas, chest pain. You know, look, a lot of things happen that present and cause you to panic, okay? But we got to talk about this thing because it's a major mental health issue that causes a lot of distress, all right? And so panic attacks, have you ever, first of all, let's just chop it up a little bit. Have any of you all ever experienced or known of someone who they've experienced a panic attack before?
Dr. Jewel, I definitely, it's the fear of the unknown. So I think that if you say, I ain't never had a panic attack, I just think that's inaccurate. Because if you're even anxiousness and the nervousness and everything that comes along with anxiety and things of that nature or panic attacks, you've had it before because we fear the unknown.
Okay, well, you know what, that's a good, I'm glad you kind of segued into that because the thing is that, anxiety and panic are in the same family, but they are kind of, it's kind of different in that, anxiety is excessive worry, excessive fear about things. It's that mama who, you going to the store at 4:00 in the afternoon, but you tell them, Mom, I'm going to the store after work. And they call you, they up all night. They call you in the morning at 9:00. You going to the store at 4:00? Yeah, Mama. And they said, well, I heard on the news that like the lettuce, you don't get no lettuce. You're like, Mom, why I don't need to get no lettuce? You don't need to get no lettuce because, I've been reading over in another country that the lettuce is contaminated and I'm scared you going to just get sick and you going to die. Mama, Mama, look, I've been eating lettuce forever. I ain't get singing that. Well, you know, and they keep going on. They like, I couldn't even sleep last night because I was working. I knew you was going to the grocery store, and I know you always get lettuce, and I'm just worried about you and that lettuce. You know what I'm saying?
That's
They
a lot.
worry about stuff that just has not even materialized. They concoct a reason to worry, and they have anxiety over it, y'all. They really get anxious about it, and it causes them, distress, and they ruminate about it. Like they press replay on that joke, and they just keep thinking about it and thinking about it, and you can't derail them. They live in a constant state of just anxious worry, fear over things sometimes that haven't even happened, so that's the only thing. Anxiety, a lot of us have it. Again, anxiety comes from, again, we're kind of set up to sometimes have anxiety because things, look, like you said, Lady V, all of us have the propensity to have anxiety because of life. We get anxious about all kinds of things. For example, as I'm getting older, and some of you all may kind of, you can get down with this. When I go and get a mammogram now, or when I go and get a colonoscopy, or I go for routine screens, or I go for lab work, I'm kind of nervous a little bit more than before. Right. So I'm a little anxious about those lab results because I've heard, because I'm getting older, I know people who have gone for a routine mammogram and come out, and the next thing you know, they got stage 2, 3, 4 breast cancer. You know what I'm saying? God. And so I put a little bit more respect on it. And I think that it does cause a little bit of unrest. I wouldn't say, but where anxiety could be a little bit of, absolutely. Let's just call it. And so you just kind of like, Lord G, and then when you get that result back and it says you clean, you're like, oh, hey, you go in,
I go in on
it's
a full
baby,
dance,
you
honey.
feel me? And so there is, I think, as you live life, and life is lifing, you know what I mean? You put a lot of respect, or more respect, on things. So you get a little bit more anxious when you're looking at the news and you send your kids out. Your kids go out, and you kind of, sometimes you may have a little bit more anxiety, especially when they go out in different places, different communities. You don't know where they're going. They think they adults and they ain't adults. But, they're out here on these streets, and you have a little bit more anxiety. Like you're not really at rest and you don't go to sleep until they come home, or, you kind of worried about them a little bit. It's not that you disregard the power, the sovereignty of God. God's got them. All of that. But man, life is a trip. And it's a little bit of anxiety sometimes
Dr.
that
Jewel,
you get. Yeah.
What about trauma? For example, I've been kind of recovering from childhood sexual trauma.
Yeah.
And whenever someone came in the room or I would sleep, I would just wake up in a panic because I didn't know what was about to happen. And my body had recorded things. So what about that?
Oh my goodness, JB, thank you for that. You're going to straight up panic disorder, okay? And what you just experienced is called nocturnal panic attack. It's called a nocturnal panic attack, basically. And that's when you wake up in the middle of a night in a full-fledged sweat, panicking, and you're like, what in the world, okay? And so that is real, okay? And so that's what you're experiencing. And again, it's a part of trauma. A lot of people, when I see people in the office with panic attacks, I usually go back and do an ACE, okay? Adverse childhood experiences. It's a questionnaire, you can go on Google, and basically I look and see, have you had trauma growing up, okay? Mental, emotional, verbal. See, because it's not all sexual. It could be you were bullied, okay? It could be you experienced egregious racism. You had to run from people. I mean, it could be that, you did have verbal trauma. You were screamed at all the time. It could be that you witnessed domestic violence. You saw your mama, your daddy get beat down, all the time. So it could be so many different things, all right? So trauma can come in so many forms and fashions, but it can cause you, when you get older, like you said, JB, your brain kind of tattoos that and starts wiring itself based on how it's maneuvering that trauma, okay? And depending on how young you are, it can change the direction of how your brain is wired. And as a result, here you are 20, 30, 40, 70 years old responding. Your brain was wired a certain way when you were a child. You understand? And then as a result, next thing you know, you 30 years old coming up in the office having a panic attack and wondering what just happened here. My life is good. I seem like I'm doing all right. I'm successful, got a good job, got a family, I'm spiritual. I mean, everything is intact. But I woke up and I had a panic attack. Oh, baby.
Can you just put that, we always say, be anxious for nothing. What does that look like?
Dr. Jewel, what does that look like?
Baby, that's dealing, I think that's in Philippians, isn't it? Like Philippians, what is it, 4:6? 4:6. Yeah, I knew it was 4. Yeah, somewhere around there.
It's in the book.
Yeah, it's in the book. I know that. It's in the book. But you know what? The thing is that I think when we use that scripture, I think we got to watch that we don't take it out of context, because basically, my understanding of that scripture, and y'all let me know, it's just dealing with control. And basically, God letting us know, man, we're not in control of anything. You know what I'm saying? And basically, if you try to, for those of you out there that struggle with this control thing, babe, because all of us do in some way, form, or fashion, you're going to be anxious. You understand? Because you think that you control you and everything around you. When you try to be a little controller of all things, everything, baby, and them things start to rail, you're going to have some anxiety. You're going to have some panic. You're going to have a whole lot of stuff, because you're going to realize that other humanoids and other people don't have to do what you say, how you say it, when you say it, that they are all the way who they are, and you don't have control over anything, okay? You don't even have control over yourself.
Right. I guess Janet Jackson said it best.
What she say?
Control. That's what she said.
Yeah. For real, I mean, seriously though. So a lot of people, if that's you, when we learn to let go of that thing and realize that, God is in control of everything, but if you use that scripture, just be anxious for nothing. Look, you're going to be anxious about some things. I am going to be anxious about some things. There are some things, some hills, some valleys of life, you all, that's going to cause you anxiety. If you don't believe it, baby, live long enough. We got college students anxious about going to a new experience, to college, leaving home for the first time. Some people are anxious because your life has changed. You lost someone who you thought was going to be your ride or die for the next 15, 20, 30 years. All right. You're going to be anxious about doing life differently by yourself, man. Anxiety comes from that, when you haven't seen some things, experienced some things. And that's why you got to get in that word, man, and walk with God, because he tells you, man, don't worry about that. I know you don't have no control over it, but I do. And and if I take care of all these things out here in nature, I'm going to take care of you. You understand what I'm saying? Just pray, stick with me. And so I hope, if that word is for you, man. A lot of our anxiety is because we're trusting in ourselves and not trusting God. You feel me? And so, as we start learning to trust God, I tell you, see, that's not in the books, baby. That's not in the books. The DSM-5 is a remedy, and that's not in our algorithms, but I'm putting it in the algorithm. Trust God, baby. That's going to relieve a lot of your anxiety. You feel me? Trust God. A lot of that anxiety, is going to kind of fall off, okay? Yes. You understand?
Can medication help you trust God?
Oh, no, medication can't help you trust God. Medication, medication, look, God gives people some revelation to make some medication that may help you.
Okay. Make you stay focused.
Okay. You understand what I'm saying?
Focus.
You feel me? Because some people's anxiety, depending on where it came, like, for example, all right, let's take my veterans. All right, you done seen some things, experienced some things that no humanoid should see, experience, smell, hear. You understand? You've got some assignments that normal people don't have. You feel me? And so when you come back, you may have some PTSD. You may have some panic. When you smell somebody could be cooking on a grill when you in a beautiful steak and that smoke come up, baby, that thing take you straight to Afghanistan. You felt you over there in another country somewhere. Right. We just having a barbecue. Or if you hear a child screaming or something, and the next thing you know, you hearing the voices of a child over in another country that we were in, we were at war with or whatever's going on. And so those noises, those things shake you in a whole different way than the average person. You understand? So you may have some issues. But, I want to go back to, thanks for asking. I want to go back to like panic though, So let's talk about panic attacks because y'all, I'm telling you, I've been practicing for a minute. Why do people, and I may need to do a study on this, a lot of people have panic attacks in the middle of stores. Walmart is one of them. I do not know why people have panic attacks at the Walmart counter.
Baby, because it's that clearance aisle.
Babe,
have you ever gone and it's all kind of wonderful things, and now you're panicking because you only got $70
I can't laugh
to
at
spend,
you right now. I can't deal with you
and they
right
got
now.
all kind of things marked down like more than 50%. That's why they got a panic attack at the Walmart.
I can't do it today. I can't. So somebody please get her today. Will you get Lady V? She is out of control.
And that's when that happy face turns into
a sad emoji. Man, well, look, y'all, they derailed. I don't know what we're doing with them. All right, but panic attacks, all right? Panic attacks. So let me give you a little bit of working definition of it, okay? So it's a sudden and intense episode of overwhelming fear or distress, okay? It usually lasts for a pretty short period of time. Usually a few minutes, okay? So if you're having a panic attack for hours, you need to get that thing checked. That ain't good, okay? All right, so during a panic attack, you usually will experience a surge of intense physical and psychological symptoms, okay? They can be very overwhelming and distressing, okay? So common signs and symptoms of a panic attack, all right? So what happens? Heart starts beating real fast, okay? All of a sudden, you get tachycardia, boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, you break out in a sweat, okay? Or chills, all right? Sometimes you get shortness of breath. You feel like somebody has put a cover over your head. You feel like you're smothering. You're trying to gasp for air. You're trying to get some air, and so, that can be an issue. You may also have chest pain or discomfort, okay? Because of the physiology of stress, it can actually make you feel chest pain, okay? All right? You may feel dizzy, lightheaded. You may even faint. You may pass out, okay? You may get real nauseated. Your stomach may just go up in knots, all right? You may feel like all the earth is about the impending doom, fear, terror. I mean, you can actually be in a terror. Jonathan, you talked about waking up. I'm in the middle of the night in a full-fledged panic. Like a lot of people do that. They feel, impending doom or terror waking up, all right? You feel losing control. You feel like you're going to lose control. It's like you're going crazy, all right? Or you have this real bad fear of dying. All right.
Impending doom.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. And one thing, so if you're like, oh my God, I feel these, because some people may get them like once a week, you all. Some people get them multiple times, in a week. Some people may have a couple a day. And so my thing is this, if these are the symptoms, as you can see, panic attacks are no joke. You feel horrible with panic attacks. So if this is you, I need for you to get that thing checked, okay? Because this can really alter your lives. Look, do any of you all know anyone who's been through this? Panic attacks? Have you ever seen anyone have a panic attack?
I have. I mean, I've had one. I actually think I had one the other day.
Could've.
Somebody was like, you have to do this and you have to do that. It was, I'm getting used to a lifestyle change. And oh my gosh, and everything that I had to do, like when I walked, I was talking to that person in the car. When I got out of the car and walked into my place of business, oh my gosh, like I thought I was going to pass out. My head, I got dizzy. I started, it wasn't a sweat, it was the cold chills. Like, I'm like, if nobody else is cold in here, and they were like, no, they're not, It was just, not cold. I was. And then again, the dizziness. That's what scared me. I immediately ran and took my blood pressure, and it was decent, it wasn't extremely high. So I'm like, why am I having this dizziness feeling like I was going to pass out? And so it was, when I had to stop and think about it, it was just overwhelming, the things that I'm going to have to start doing,
That's right.
And it was overwhelming.
Absolutely. Some things trigger them, and you'll know exactly, there's some specific situations, like I talked about the smoke coming up, different sounds, screaming, sometimes you have that. Have you ever heard of somebody with a really mean neighbor, and the kids are playing and just being kids, and they come out and they're like, shut up all that noise, the kids are too loud. You're like, man, what is wrong with you, man? This is a neighborhood, like it's kids in here. But the thing is that I want us to start being compassionate with people, because this person could have been a veteran. They could have had some kind of trauma, something that kids' voices elicit a response in them. And so we just need to be sensitive to one another and just kind of think of things and listen to, and listen to people a little differently, because they could actually suffer from anxiety or panics. Now,
so
panic
Dr. Jewel,
it
sounds like time and intensity are the things that make it different from just something that you may feel just a general butterfly in your stomach.
Thank you for saying that, because JB, with a panic disorder, with a panic attack, it comes and it goes, okay? It's usually for a short time, okay? Usually a few minutes, okay? But if you're having chest pain or discomfort and it's lasting for 15, 20, 30 minutes, you may want to deal with that, okay? I mean, that could definitely be something else, because JB, there is a thin line between the symptoms of a panic attack and the symptoms of a heart attack, okay? All right. So it's a thin line. That's why a lot of people go to the emergency room, because they can't differentiate between the two, all right? Now, again, like I said, sometimes panic attacks can come out of the blue. Other times they can be triggered, like you said, Lady V. All right.
Lady V mentioned work. I wonder, I've had some anxious bosses for sure that mask things as perfection and just being a perfectionist, or we're all type A. And because we're all type A, we all know how to work in a high energy, fast-paced environment, but everybody pulling their hair out, working overtime, not feeling like they can contribute anything of value because they've been beaten down by somebody who is anxious and has an anxiety disorder, or maybe in a panic but have a place of authority.
And you brought up something right there. Basically, what you're saying is that anxiety it's transferable. So basically, what you're saying is that when you're under a leadership that has a problem, they call it type A, but oftentimes they're very intense because they deal with perfection and they hold themselves to the standard. And usually they're home having panic attacks and on medication for anxiety. Okay, because you can't be wired that type and be healthy. All right, that's very challenging. Okay, and so my thing is that it can be put on you, because when you're under somebody with anxiety, all right, and that's tense like that, they kind of put that on you. And as a result, you go home and you're worrying about that email. Did I put a period there? Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I do the other? And so they put that on you. And the next thing you know, you can't sleep at night because you waking up in the middle of the night in a panic, wondering, did I send that email? Did I finish this task? Did I whatever?
Did I put an exclamation point?
Do you understand what I'm saying? Are they going to come for me? Oh my God, am I going to lose my job? I mean, that's just a mess. And so, again, environmental, depending on where you are, what you do, it can drive you to have anxiety and panic. Okay. And so I need you to start assessing these things. All right. And so the question becomes well, what do we do? Because if somebody has panic attacks frequently, we call that panic disorder. Okay. All right. And all panic disorder is a type of anxiety that's really characterized by recurring panic attacks. Okay. So if they keep having them all the time, they have a panic disorder. Okay. But I need you to know this. please understand this. Panic attacks, they're not life-threatening, okay? Even though they can feel like they're about to wipe you out, they're very frightening in the moment, okay? I have experienced people have panic attacks in front of me, and everybody go call 911. I mean, everybody is sounding the alarm because they don't know what they look like. So, you know, in church, y'all, I'm just telling you, wherever you are, there are people that you may witness having a panic attack. So one thing that you need to do, you know, is help them to, if you don't think it's life threatening, you know, if it's not going down their arm and all that, you know, and back pain, you know, different things like that. And if, you know, you can calm them down and just try to get them to breathe, okay? Try to get them to breathe. Sometimes, you know, you can kind of look at them and be like, okay, just ground, breathe, you know, and we'll talk about those things, you know, just, you know, put your feet down, you know, just calm them down, okay? Get them in a chair, get them to breathe, get them to focus on something else, get them to focus, breathe, okay? Focus on their breathing. Usually you can calm them right down and they can come out of it, okay? All right? And so, but then, you know, if you're able to help someone to calm down, don't dismiss it, you know, don't make them feel bad or shamed. What's wrong with you? You know, no, you know, you let them know, or they can let you know. If you have panic disorder, you can actually help yourself by saying, you know what? I'm going to be okay. I know I'm having a panic attack right now, and you can actually calm yourself down. Okay, you've got to be true. I'm not having a heart attack. You got to speak to yourself. This is not a heart attack. You can get through it. You're having a panic attack. Just calm down, ground, breathe, use your tools, you understand, and bring yourself down. But what I've had to do, if I didn't know a person and a person had a panic attack in front of me, let's say I'm at church, this has happened before, person had a panic attack. All right. I went to them. I looked at how they were breathing. I could assess them, but also I've been in family practice for 19 years. So, I mean, I'm not that scared. So I'm looking at them like, you know what? This person is not having a heart attack. This person has having a panic attack.
And it wasn't the Holy Ghost.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You hear me? We had to carry them out. Everybody, the whole church up in the uproar, got them out, calmed them down. And then once I got them calmed down, got them some water, got them straight, I said, no, what's the real deal? You feel me? Now that's when the therapy part comes in, because it's something that was driving the panic, and that's what you got to get to. So
there are some apps that you could also use to help you with breathing.
I love it. Come on, give them to us, JB.
There's MindSpace, and you know what? Sometimes, depending on your provider, your insurance provider, your job may actually offer that for free.
Yes.
There's also an app called Mindset, and even for women of color, there's an app that specifically addresses some of the needs that women of color have, like Exhale. It's called Exhale.
Love it.
Like waiting to exhale.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for sharing those resources, JB.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're experiencing someone who's having a panic attack, all right, just stay calm. Okay, it's important that you remain calm and then help them to stay calm. Okay, offer reassurance. Okay, all right, let them know, man, you're not in danger. You're gonna be okay. All right, it's temporary. This thing is manageable. All right, let them know that it will pass. All right, encourage them to deep breathe. All right. Deep breathe slowly through their nose and exhale through their mouth. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. All right. Make sure that they're safe. Everything's okay. All right. Ground them, okay? Let them put their feet on the ground, their hands on their legs, and help them to breathe, okay? That's grounding. Don't judge them. Don't minimize them. Be very understanding, okay? Don't dismiss them by telling them, calm down, all right? Validate the fact that you know they're having a panic attack and they're going to be okay, all right? You got them, all right? And don't rush them, all right? It can be emotionally and physically draining to have a panic attack, all right? So look, just let them know they're going to be okay and walk with them, all right? And if they don't have help, encourage them and support them in getting help, because guess what? We can treat panic attacks, all right? You don't have to keep having these things. You don't have to keep walking in fear, because a lot of people don't do things because they fear having a panic attack. Since they can't control them, they don't know when they're going to come, they just stay in the house and don't do nothing, okay? Right. And so, y'all, we got to work through this. So I hope you all learned something, man, about panic attacks, y'all, how to deal with them, how to help somebody walk through them. And if that is you, it's no shame. I need you to go and get help, whether it's therapy, medication, both, peeling back that onion, helping you to get better mentally so that you won't have these attacks. Okay, so look, your panic matters. All right, so did y'all learn something today, y'all?
We did. Thank you.
I
Dr.
love it.
Joe.
Thank you
so
for your
much.
input. Thank you for the resources, JB. And look, thank you, Yes Lord Radio, for this opportunity.
Yes.
We love you. God bless you.
Yes, Lord.
And we hope, man, that we can continue to make an impact helping people to become mentally well. So you all, you know what I'm going to say. It's time. It's time to get your mind right, man, with ADJ. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
It's time to get right.